Your homework last night was to come into class with this poem already annotated. So I should see lots of writing in this box, arrows across your page, underlinings, showing me what you thought was important from the poem. You also had to define each of the words that you didn't know. And we went through yesterday and looked at the words that I would expect that you didn't know. And I helped you with some of the definitions. So just at a quick glance, I'm just going to show you a flash of what mine looks like. But you can see I've got lots of main idea explanations over here, and then I've got important parts of the poem annotated to what I thought was important. Now obviously, if you didn't do that, you should go back and do that before moving on, and just looking at my information is not going to help you, so I really want to see what you got out of the poem. And this is a good time for you to think about what you've been learning about in the Middle Ages and what we've been reading about for the Crusades and how you see that reflected in this poem. So just a couple of things I want to make sure that you did. Make sure that each paragraph has its own main idea. What does this paragraph contribute to the poem? And I say paragraph, I mean stanza. There were 5 stanzas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5 stanzas that you should have gone through. You should have an explanation of what each part of the stanza contributes to the poem, as well as anything that you found important. And I'm going to tell you this very last line down here. It's talking about him becoming a monk, and he says, "Cross myself 1,000 times a day." You do need to make sure that you have this marked. It's going to help you when you go to analysis of the poem. I'm going to tell you it's a type of figurative language, so you may need to get your notes out to help you figure out what type it is. All right, so if you don't have that done, what I would like for you to do is pause this screencast right now and go get that annotating done. Use your Chromebook if you need to look up vocabulary words and mark those down as well. Okay, so once you have that done, you can flip your paper over to the back and complete this using the poetry notes in your literature book. And I actually, for right now, I have it kind of spelled out for you. When you look at form, these are 6 things that you can ask yourself. You just need to make sure that you're explaining things using your own terms. If you can't remember what alliteration is, make sure you get your notes out of your interactive notebook and look them up. They're on your poetry notes foldable, which is in your literature section. I already told you that there was going to be an example of figurative language in the last part of the poem, so you need to make sure you figure out what type it is, and give me a little bit of an explanation of what that type of figurative language explains to you. And then the last thing you have to do is I would go back and reread the poem one more time, and then come back here and look at the speaker and think about what's the important information or the theme that the poet is trying to share with you. And I want you to make sure that this is in your own words. I don't want to see words copied out of the poem. You have to put the meaning to your own comprehension of the poem. So that's the first part of what you're going to do today. When you have this done, you can move on to the next activity in the blend space.